Everybody, we're going to see if tonight's going to be the night. I'm going to try to be really quick and start and mute the volume on YouTube before we get started so that I don't repeat. Everybody, no, we're going to sit. It didn't work. There's just no way. The only thing you can do is sit here and stop talking. But anyway, hey, everybody, it is April the 10th, 2022. It's good to see everybody tonight. It's a busy week and a busy weekend. I don't know about where you live, but the children have been in spring break mode all week long. And some people are, if they're not in it, if they weren't in it last week, they're fixing to go on it. Today was Palm Sunday, so I know a lot of people went to church and celebrated that. It's one of the just a highlight in the life of Jesus. And then if you're a golfer, today is the finals of the Masters. And so Brad and I watched that today. We watched it yesterday and today. And I've been to the Masters in Augusta. It's one of the top PGA, the big tournaments. Okay. And like you can't even get in to see the Masters unless you have a badge from, way back when. It's like almost impossible to get there. You cannot get a shirt that says the Masters unless you're actually at the tournament. Like you can't go into, Walmart or one of the sports stores. You have to be there. And so it's a pretty big deal to even get to go. But anyway, we watched it today and it was so good. And there's so many things I was thinking about while we were watching it. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you tonight. Okay. Because so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about your attitude. And I know a lot of times I feel like as Mary Kay sales directors, we kind of beat that in everybody's head, but it's so important, you guys. It's so important, especially these last 3 months of the seminar year. Because if your attitude stinks and you've already checked out, then chances are you're not going to accomplish the things that you really could accomplish. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I just did a little quick PowerPoint. And this says deep thoughts. Are they positive or negative? I was going to say deep thoughts by Colson-Eyre. These are deep thoughts for me, but I want you to think about your deepest thoughts and your most recurring thoughts. And are they negative about yourself, about others, about your Mary Kay business? Are they negative about your family and things like that? And most people would not say, I'm pretty much a negative person. I pretty much have a negative attitude all the time. Some people don't realize they're negative, right? And I've heard so many times in Mary Kay, people that have said, I didn't realize how negative I was till I got in Mary Kay. And because like my sales director would correct me, and when I would say something negative. And so because we live kind of in a negative world, I think you guys would agree with that. So we're just going to go through a few things here. I want you to really think about it. And I want you to, maybe we could take some actions. Okay. Can we get to the next slide? Okay. So one of our top directors in Mary Kay's in the Ruby Seminar, Kelly DeBlander Brigham, she has this thing and said, instead of saying, I can't, say, how can I? How can I? And so I want you to think about this thought a little bit more. We're going to dive into this a little bit about how your brain works and what happens when you say, I can't, and what happens when you say, how can I? All right. So let's say you're saying, like as a consultant, I've heard all this week, by the way. I can't book. Nobody will book. Everybody I ask says no. I've tried everything. There's not one single person that will book. Okay. Or you could say, how can I book 5 by Friday? I'm going to tell you what your brain's going to do in a minute. So you might be saying, I can't team build. I sell, but nobody wants to recruit. I can't team build. I've tried it. I've talked to people that everybody says no. Or you could say, how can I add 5 team members to my team this month? All right. Or you could say, I can't go to seminar, and all the reasons why you can't go to seminar. Or you could say, how can I find a way to get to seminar? Or I am going to find a way to get to seminar. Okay. Or somehow, some way, I'm going to seminar. Okay. Instead of saying, I can't afford help. Maybe you desperately need some help around the house or for your Mary Kay business or help in general. Right. Instead of saying, I can't afford help, say, how can I pay for help? Okay. And instead of saying, I can't sell, nobody will buy anything. Okay. say, how can I sell $300 a week? So I want you to think about this. When you say things to yourself or out loud, it's even worse when you say it out loud, okay, because it reinforces it. Your brain gets to work. Your brain starts going to work, and your brain starts thinking, okay. So it's when you say I can't, your brain assumes that is the truth. And then your brain will line up everything in your world to make that come true. So if you say I can't book, then your brain is everything say, oh, yeah, no, you already said you can't. So I'm going to make sure nobody does. And then you're not going to say the right things, and your attitude is going to be that you can't. And I'm telling you, it's the truth. It's like people that say, I can't lose weight. I can't lose weight. No matter what I do, I can't lose weight. Then you got the same person that's saying, oh, I'm losing 20 pounds. Oh, everything I eat turns to muscle, right? And so it's a different way of saying it. When you say, how can I? Your brain gets to work on figuring out a solution. So that's the main thing I want to tell you. When you say I can't, your brain says, okay, we're going to make sure that's the truth. All right. But when you say, how can I, your brain starts thinking, okay. And you go to start where you're trying to figure out how you can make something work, even if it previously hasn't worked. Okay. So I want you to think about this. Have you ever been in a crisis situation and got through it? And, if you've ever had something like, if you've ever been in a place where you go, how am I going to get out of this mess? I'm in a mess. How am I going to get out of it? I got myself in a royal mess. Okay. Maybe you had a car wreck. Maybe you were stranded on the road. Okay. And, back in the day before cell phones, this was a problem. Because if you had a car wreck and you have no phone in your car, it's a problem. Like, what are you going to do? Right. This has happened to me before. Once I had a car wreck, and I thought, I was out on a dirt road and it was late at night, and I thought my daddy is going to kill me. This is his car. And I thought, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And so I looked, and there was a house that I could walk to. So I walked over to a stranger's house, and I told them that I was stuck in the ditch. And they, luckily, the Lord was with me. They came and pulled me out. And I got home, and I sprayed the whole car down it was full of sand all over the place. I sprayed it down with the water hose, and I thought maybe he won't notice, And so I didn't say a word. I just went to bed. The next morning, my daddy says, did you go in the ditch last night? I'm like, I think they knew who I was, and they called my daddy. But anyway, what I'm saying is I figured out a way. I mean, I wasn't going to stay in the ditch all night long, right? I had to get out of the ditch at some point, or I'd still be there today. All right. Maybe if you've ever ran out of gas, and you're like, okay, what am I going to do? And, I've had that happen before too. And I was with my girlfriend, Debbie. We were in Jacksonville, and we ran out of gas, and we did call our husbands, and they're like, well, okay, well, you better just go ahead and call. They were 2 hours away. What are they going to do? You better go ahead and call OnStar and tell them to come get you some gas. So we had to wait 2 hours for the guy to come. You had to drive an hour because we were in the middle of nowhere, get the gas, and we finally got home. But, maybe it's something as simple as you missed an important appointment because maybe you were supposed to be there first thing in the morning and you overslept, or maybe you just lost track of time, and you're just like, oh no, what am I going to do? Okay. What am I going to do? And then your brain starts working on solutions and options. And sometimes they're pretty good. You can figure out what you're going to do and what you're going to say, maybe you got lost going on a trip before GPS. Okay. You had to use maps. I had that happen too. I was heading to Arkansas from Georgia, and I was following my brother, and he was supposed to be riding with me, and my cousin, Winston, was supposed to be riding behind us. And once we got about 45 minutes out of town, they pull over, and my brother got in the car with my cousin, and I had to drive by myself. This is right. Okay. So they go, I'm trying to keep up with them, and they lose me. I get to Atlanta. I turn the wrong way. We're going to Nashville, Tennessee. I end up in South Carolina, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So I stopped at a Wendy's and I found a payphone, and I called my mom and dad. I mean, what else are you going to do? Right. I, of course, collect. You don't have any money, right? So I called collect, and they're like, well, I said, Wendy left me. I can't find him. I don't know where he went. Of course, they're so mad at him. And so then they said, well, you're going to have to figure out, see if you can find a map somewhere. You can figure out where you are to get over there. I was like, I mean, literally, I'm 18 years old or 19. So there was a cop at the Wendy's, and he let me follow him till I got back on the right road, and I was 2 hours behind my brother. And but I made it. But there's times like this in your life, and I think probably those of us that are a little older, we did not have people right at our beck and call when we got in trouble, so we had to figure out things on our own sometime, because we didn't have like the punch of a button cell phone of somebody, that would just come right that second, right? And so we had to use that figure out muscle in our brain more than some people today too. Do y'all agree with that? I'm sure you do. So all these situations, you had to quickly figure out what was going on and what you could do next to fix it or make the best of it. So I want you to think about this. If you've ever played sports, if you've ever played softball, or baseball, and you ever struck out. If you've ever missed a free throw in a basketball game. If you've ever fell, maybe you're a cheerleader or you did gymnastics and you fell or stumbled during a routine. If you play soccer, maybe you missed a goalie, or maybe you golf and you missed a putt. If you've ever played sports and that happened, you did have a choice. So what is the choice? Are you going to dust yourself off and get back in the game? Or are you going to sit on the bench and cry and so it can have a come apart? Right? I mean, which one is it? Because if you play sports and if you ever have played on any kind of a team, you know that every ball does not go in the basket. And, you don't hit a home run with every hit. And there's going to be times that you fall in other sports, and in like even in cheerleading and things like that. And so there are going to be times. And if you only played when you knew you could win and that you would never miss, it's like Mary Kay used to say, the lights are never going to be all the way green going through town. And if you wait for all the lights to go green before you get going, you're never going to go. And so she used to say that all the time. Like, there's never a perfect time to do your Mary Kay business, right? There's always going to be obstacles. But winners get up. Winners get back up. Winners shake it off. They get back to work. Winners have missed more and lost more than any loser ever has because they get up every time they fall. Mary Kay asked you to say, I have the bloodiest knees of anybody in the company. Why? Because I have fell more than anyone else here and got back up than anyone. So she used to say that all the time. And, to say, hey, don't think you're the only one that's tried something that didn't work or that, didn't score 100 on something you're trying to do. So today, I want you to think about a new thought on what is your most dominant thought when you see these 5 things in Mary Kay about your Mary Kay business. What is the most dominant thought that you think of that first comes to your mind about booking? Some of you may say, booking's easy. It's easy for me to book. Everybody I know likes to book with me. Okay, that's the first thought. The majority of you probably think booking's hard. I try. Nobody wants to, and you have that negative thought, right? What about your thoughts on selling? Some of you selling is easy. It is really easy to sell. I mean, like, this stuff sells, easier than I thought it would. And some people are like, this is hard. It's too expensive. And reasons why they're not selling. Some people, when you say team building, they're like, oh, recruiting is easy. It is easy for me to share this opportunity with people. I mean, who wouldn't want to do this, right? And then others are like, that's hard. I don't want to recruit. That's my customer. If I recruit her, I won't make any money. Okay. It's a mindset. Moving up the career path. Some people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to be hopping through that. In fact, I'm skipping steps. I'm going to go from here to here, and it's not going to take me very long. And others are going, I've been in the same spot for 25 years. I'll never get out of it. Okay. Earning the use of the Mary Kay career car. Some are like, oh yeah, I drive free. I earned the use of a Mary Kay career car. And some are like, I'll never do that. There's no way. There's only a couple people that do that, right? So it's just kind of how you're thinking about your business. So what if you really, really, really changed the way you thought and you started thinking positive about your whole entire business and you would not let negative thoughts creep in? What if you really started thinking and saying, how can I sell more? How can I get more bookings? And start asking that question and let your brain start to work for you a little bit, okay? And start doing the positive affirmations. I'm the best booker of my unit. Everybody wants to book with me. Everybody I see just wants to book an appointment. Okay. And you just start saying these things and you think it's not true. Listen, your brain doesn't know. So you might as well tell it a good lie than tell it a bad lie, right? Okay. Your sales would increase. Your team building is going to increase. You would start to move up the career path. You could earn the use of a Mary Kay career card and even more. If you just change this one thing, is about how you talk to yourself. It's the truth, you guys. It is the truth. Jesus said, you will have whatever you say. It's in the Bible. And when the words we speak line up with God's word, his power is released. When you speak words of doubt or words that are negative, you're opening the door to cause Satan to work in your life. You're causing negative circumstances around you to continue. And if you continue to confess and say the words that are negative. And so I want you to really think about that. Mary Kay used to say, what you bring about, what you think about, you bring about. And it's right from the Bible. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's in there. Look it up. And so we got to really take that to heart about what we're saying about ourselves and what we're saying about the goals that we have. And if the first thing that you really want and in your mind goes, you're never doing that, you can never do that, there's no way, then you won't. Absolutely, you will not. So instead say, there is a way. How can I find a way to do this? Okay, how can I do it? How can I find a way? And so I want you to think about this every morning. Once you get up, and first of all, you got to have a goal. Okay, have a goal between now and the end of the month, and then now at the end of the seminar year, which is June 30th. You get up and you have a goal, a daily goal, and then a goal for the end of the month. And you're going to read those goals out loud if you can. Who cares? Do it in your bathroom, whatever. You could do, Mary Kay used to say, get a 3x5 index card and you put your goals on your mirror. So in the first thing in the morning, you'll see it on your refrigerator and in the dash of your car. And it's before computers. Now you put it on your computer or tape it on the back of your phone. And in the morning, you get up and you read those goals and you say to yourself, how can I reach these daily goals to build my big goal today? And then say it as if it's already done. Today, I'm going to book 5 appointments. I'm so excited. That's what I'm going to do. Today, I'm going to sell $300. Today, I'm going to share the Mary Kay opportunity with 2 people. How can I get those names today? Who am I going to call? And your brain will start going in that direction. It's not like a trick or magical. It's just the way your brain works, you guys. And the other way is if you do that opposite, then you're going to have the opposite results. You're going to have the opposite results. So Mary Kay used to say, I can, I will, I must. That's what we're supposed to say. And then she would get on stage and she says, instead of saying, and she'd do this, I'll try, maybe, I hope. And so at our sales meetings, I'm telling you, from the very beginning, when I was a brand new consultant, and I consider myself a positive person, but I would go to the meetings and they would say, all right, Cleta, what's your goal for next week's sales? Well, I hope I can sell $200. You hope? Really? Or I'm gonna try to get 1 new team member. Oh, really? You're gonna try? And so then my adoptive director, Deborah Bishop, she says, all right, stand up. So she made me stand up. And she goes, okay, try to sit down. And I just look at her. She would just try to sit down. And I just sit down. She goes, oh, what you just sat down then, didn't you? And she said, so don't try, just do it. Just say, I will. I'll try means if someone says, hey, do you want to go maybe to a movie this week? Yeah, I'll try. Maybe we can get together. What does that really mean? You're not doing it. But if they say, hey, you want to go to a movie this week? Hey, let's do. What about Friday? Okay. Anytime I've ever said, yeah, we should do lunch. But if you don't set it up, yeah, I'll try. Or like, can you come to the whatever? Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, I'll try. I'll try gives yourself a way out. That means you'll try, but you may or may not happen. Okay. So instead, you just get a yes or no. Be, in your mind, don't give yourself that out of I try, maybe I can. Don't give yourself the way out on that, because your attitude really does affect your altitude. It really does. How you think is going to affect how high you go in this business, and not only in this business, but in life. And so I want you to go look back at, just to see if you take this challenge, go back and look at your last few posts on social media? Okay, were they negative or were they positive? Look at your last voice text where you voice chatted somebody. Was it something positive, or was it a winning voice text, or was it a whining voice text? Look at your last Boxer message if you're on Boxer. Look at the last thing you told your husband about your Mary Kay business, or others, someone important in your life. When they said, "How's your Mary Kay going?" What did you say? Are you lifting yourself up and others, or are you pulling people down? So, this is kind of a hard subject because we've all done it. We've all done what we're not supposed to do. Okay. But once you're aware of something, then you'll start doing your best to do, to be more positive. So I just want you guys to know that, I believe in you. You guys are boss babes. All right. Your sales director believes in you. Mary Kay Corporation believes in you, Mary Kay Inc. And you just have to start believing in yourself. And, you may not have grown up in a positive environment, and I understand that. And there's a lot of people that didn't, but that doesn't mean that the rest of your life you have to be that way. It really doesn't. So you can make a turn like right now, like today, this is the day that you're like, all right, even though no one in my families have ever achieved anything and everybody's down and telling me I can't do it, I believe I can. I believe I can, and I believe I will. So therefore I must. I can, I will, I must. Okay. And so that message was just on my heart today. And one of the reasons that I started thinking about this was there was a guy that, if you watched the Masters, and so probably most of you did not, but anyway, his name is Rory McEnroe. And he started out today at they play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's the third day. So he started out today at 1 over par. Okay. So after the first two rounds, he's 1 over par. The highest person was 10 under par. And if you don't understand that lingo, that's the more under par you are, the better you are. Okay. So anyway, I don't even know what place he started in, but it was way down. Okay. Probably like 20 something. All right. And so today he played out of his mind, and he ended up with 7 under par. He was 8 under par for the whole day, but 7 under par. He was one person away, or one stroke away from the best final round at the Masters tournament in the history of the Masters. And so he ended up being number 2. So let me just say, number 1 makes $2.7 million today. Number 1 made that today. Okay. And that was Scotty. What was his last name? Scheffler. Okay. He won. And he never won the Masters before either. And guess what he did? On the last hole, he double bogeyed, which is not good, but he still won. He still got the green jacket. But number 2, I mean, they make over $1 million as well. And so over $1 million today. And so, but he could have come in and thought, I am so down the line. There's no way I'm even going to get on up there with the big boys, and he's been a winner before, but he was way down. I mean, like 1 over par is like, when you're playing the professionals, that's like a bad game. Okay. Like for any of us, like, novices, it would be like the best game of our whole entire life. But he played out of his mind today. He just thought, I'm giving it all I got. He was so excited. And there was a guy that played with him. He too, on the last hole, they chipped it up from the bunker and it went in the hole. I mean, like, I was screaming for them. It was so exciting. And I thought, you know what? That's people that don't give up. They played to the very end, and they were like a 5-year-old at Christmas. I mean, these grown men were so happy. It was so exciting to see. And so it just shows you, it really doesn't matter where you are right now in the seminar year. You could be, down like him, and the top person can be so far ahead of you, there's no way you can ever reach it. But if you play your heart out, down to the end of seminar, I mean, you'll be celebrating like a 5-year-old at going to Disney World. because you will have done the best you could. That's the best that man probably has ever played, in the Masters. Well, it has to be, because it was the best last round, second best last round, the whole history of that Masters tournament. And so it was so awesome. And it just made me think, all right, you know what? The game is not over till the game is over. Okay. And it's not over till June 30th. So no matter what you have or have not done, you guys, you can do it. There's so many people that are going to achieve so many great things in April, May, and June. It's going to blow your mind. There will actually be people that get in Mary Kay in April. I'm not kidding. In April, get on target for their car and earn the use of their first car, by the time seminar is here, or move up and get in their red jacket in their first month, go into DIQ and make it in 1 month because they have a goal to walk on stage at seminar as a sales director. There's people that have done it. There's people in my own unit that have earned the use of the car in 1 month. And people that have become a sales director from the day they joined to the day they put that they were director in 4 months. And that's not the fastest. Okay. So, it can be done. People have done it. And even if they haven't done it, you could be the first. Somebody's got to be the first, right? Somebody's got to be the first. So you guys, I was just thinking about that today, about how we could just really think about very positively. And one of the things that I have done all year long is I have said to myself that I am winning the Bumblebee, the court of sharing. And the other thing that I've said is I'm not going to get behind. I know it's kind of negative, but let's say the better way to say it is I'm going to stay ahead. I'm going to be on target every single month so that at the end, I'm not having to scramble and try to get 13 qualified team members. I want to stay on track every month. And what's happened is that's been my dominant thought every month so far. And what's happened is the recruits are showing up. They're showing up. Yes, I'm working, but they're also showing, like, that is my dominant thought. So guess what? My brain is making me do and say things and reach out to attract that. Does that make sense? Instead of saying the opposite. And so I've never done it before, something I've never done before. And so I'm going to do it. I definitely am going to do it. I don't know who the last 5 are going to be. But guess what? They're coming and I can't wait to meet them. Might be somebody I don't even know yet, right? So it's exciting. And so that's what I got for you guys. I just, I'm fired up after watching that Masters. And I just want you guys to really get in there and really don't sell yourself short the next 3 months, because anything can happen. Anything can happen. Okay. Sales directors, Latrice, you got something you want to add to it over here with me?
I ditto on all that. Every thought that you have is so important. And listening to you talk about the Masters makes me think about the movie Secretariat. And that was a real horse, okay? And his trainer, his trainer always told him how awesome he was and he could do it. Reg, you can do it. And y'all, even a horse, okay, that has all that positive thoughts coming to him. And Joanne Barnes, National Sales Director, taught this years and years ago whenever we had cassette tapes that we listened to. But it's something in your brain. It's called the reticular activating system. It's like your subconscious mind, and it will do exactly what Cleta's saying. So I am fired up, Cleta. I'm so fired up about playing to the end and just, yes, I have felt the same way with people booking and people to recruit. I'm just asking them, my customers. And anyway, I'm right there with you, girl. I am doing the quarter sharing this year as well. So. All
right. Woo! Okay. Thank you, Latrice. Thank you so much. Latrice's daughter, Latrice's daughter is rides horses. And so I'm sure you've had a lot of times where she's been maybe like her time, and then, she ends up getting up there and winning too. So, any kind of sport like that, you just can't give up,
Yeah, she came in first place one time this weekend. Oh. And, it's a mind thing. And they videoed it to me. I watched it live, but I wasn't there. I had a lot of things going on, but just that mindset, and you have 15 seconds. So anyway, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. All right, Sayla, you want to join us? Let me bring you on. I know you have something to say.
Yes. What a great call, Cleta. And from my own personal experience, when I was in DIQ and finishing up my directorship, I said I was going to do it no matter what. And I was at the last day with a lot of people to go. And, I just knew in my heart, and I was willing to do the work to get it done, to finish that directorship that night. And we did. It was like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 people that I had to add and get orders that night. So you can say, you don't lose 20 pounds overnight. You don't grow a flower, just plant the seed and it pop up the other night. It takes steady work. And I have been working ahead, for that goal. And if you're doing the work, even if you don't see the fruit in a day or two, just keep going. And like Cleta said, even if the odds are totally against you, like they were the golfer today, just play full out until the very end. At the very least, you will be further towards your goal than you were if you had just sat there and said, oh man, this is not going to happen. If you say that, I promise you it will not happen. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Sayla. Okay, Maureen.
Cleta, thank you for a powerful PowerPoint. That was awesome. I wrote some notes and took some screenshots, and that was amazing. 2 things. I was watching the end of that Masters today with Roger, and when the guy was getting his green coat, he was asked a question. I don't know verbatim what it was, but it was something about how did it work out for you in the last 2 holes? And I don't know a whole lot about golf. Okay. And what he said was, he was pretty much not paying attention to other people. He was like running his own race. And when he said that, I was like, ooh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be running my own race. And when he said it, I remembered when I was in DIQ last year, I had wrote a mission statement for myself. And just like I'm all fired up right now after listening to Cleta pump us all up and inspire us, I would read this mission statement. It wasn't like, on a 3x5. I wrote out the visual, like what I wanted it to look like and how it was going to work and what was going to be at the end. And at the end it said, I'm going to have an amazing, powerful speaker at my debut. And I did. So, when we do exactly what Cleta said in whatever form, whether you write a mission statement or I have 3x5 cards that I'm about to put all over the house in my car, that thing, what did you say it was, Latrice? Reticular activative system. I'm looking that up.
Yeah.
I'm looking that up. So anyways, those 2 things, that golfer dude with run your own race. And I'm going to write myself a mission statement tonight as well and update that because I haven't had one since August last year.
And there you go. Right.
There I
go. All right. Thank you so much, girl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Sharon, would you like to add anything?
Our business is a God-driven business, and it's telling me you spotlighted me or something. I don't know what I'm saying. The other day I had the thought, oh shoot, I know that girl's not going to call me. I just know she's not going to call me. And do you know, 5 minutes later, the phone rang, and I said, Lord, I am so sorry. That was such a negative thought. And I know that Mary Kay runs on God issues, because if you know that there's something you want to do, and I'm reading this book with a Bible study, and I can't think of the name of it, but if you say positive things will happen for you. Just what you said, Cleta, but when you speak the negative, you block God's power. He can't work with you when you're negative. And so we're so blessed to have this company. do you know any companies that say God, family, career? Because I personally do not.
Mhm.
Somebody told me that her paint company had that. I'm all like, I don't think I've ever heard that in the paint company business, but so I liked everything that you all said, and just realized that his power, in the book, it said we have gifts that he's given us. And if we're not using those gifts, if we're not inviting the women that need to be invited, if we're not beautifying the women that need to be beautified, then that's on us, because he wants us to use our business to further his kingdom. And just, I had an example this weekend. I have a friend that I was kind of timid about asking her, because she doesn't wear any makeup and she doesn't do anything to improve her appearance. So I asked her, would you let me pamper you? And she said, I don't know. I said, well, just come to my house. We'll just play around and make up. 2.5 hours later and $250 later, she walked out, and I saw her 2 days ago. I said, you're using the 3D, aren't you? Or the 4, do you all call it 3D? I call it 4D and 3D sometimes, and she said, yes, I really like it. And for me, that was such a positive thing that I was able to do because of Mary Kay. And I know she's going to keep using it. And so you'll get that B. I know you will, Kalina.
Oh, yes.
There's
Yes, I am.
for you.
Thank
you.
you, girl. Thank you. I'm trying to catch up with you. Well, let me go ahead. Connie, would you like to, Sayla, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just was thinking about another scripture in the Bible where it says there is power of life and death in the tongue. And y'all, that is, I mean, if you really think, if you believe what the word says, and if you then that means you have to believe that verse.
Yeah.
And there is truly power of life and death in the tongue. What you are speaking, you may just think, oh, I just said it that one time, but you are speaking life or death over yourself, over your family, over your friends. That is something to take. There are times when we're all negative, and I'm right in line with the rest of it, but I try so hard because I do not want any negativity over my life or my family or my friends. And so last year I started this little hashtag getting stronger every day. And, even if you can't think of a full mission statement, just think of a few words that you can just repeat all the time that give you power. And it did start out that I was trying to get stronger physically, but really it's physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. It's just what you think about, you truly bring about. So anyway, that's all.
Amen. Amen, Sayla. Okay, Connie.
Yes, I do have something to add. So thank you. Well, I have two things, but the very first thing is that, oh my gosh, y'all, if I wouldn't have had speaking it into existence, okay, I would have never earned my first free Mary Kay car, because I was at seminar on the very last day of the month, and I still had several qualified people left to finish. And I'll be honest, even my sales director didn't believe that it was going to happen. And I left the awards night. I went back to my room and I sat there in my gown making the calls. Now, I did just what Sayla said all month long. I had been talking to people and I had been working with people. But guess what? I finished that car just before midnight, Dallas time, while I was sitting in Dallas at seminar. And I couldn't even scream out loud that I had earned it because my roommates were sleeping. But I want you to know, when you believe it and you speak it, you do speak it into existence. And it is so, so, so true. And Sharon and I were actually on an event with Cheryl Fulcher this weekend. And we heard from a 1 month wonder, and her name is Shannon Likely. You guys will probably start hearing her name when she debuts as a director. She's in Amanda Dixon's unit. She joined, this is for you consultants. She joined in January, And she went into DIQ this month, at the beginning of this month, okay? She went into DIQ with 11 active team members. And she already, as of Saturday, that was what was yesterday, the 9th of April? She already has 26 unit members and 10,000 in unit wholesale production for the month of April. Hello, 1 month wonder DIQ. Amazing. So when you put your mind to something, you definitely can do it. It's just a matter of going out there and getting it done.
Right.
So true. Thank you so much. And I don't see any other directors live. So let me say this. People need our business. They really do. And you just look at the people that you facial in person. Sometimes or over Zoom, where you actually have a conversation with them. People, they have such low self-esteem about themselves and about how they look and who they are. And, they feel like they've gotten old and fat and ugly. Okay. I'm not kidding you. A lot of women are so hard on themselves. They're so hard on themselves. And I just think to myself, man, they need to get in Mary Kay, because they need a big old dose of that you are special and you're important and God didn't have time to make a nobody. And, God gave you gifts that nobody else has. And there's things that you can do and only you, but no one is pouring into these women. No one. Their husband isn't, their parents aren't, their coworkers aren't. And that's where we come in and we're like, you know what, Mary Kay, the philosophy and how we think and how we work, it can really change women's lives. Now, is the skincare products, are they amazing? Yes. Thank goodness we sell something we actually can use every single solitary day, and something that we absolutely 100% believe in, absolutely, because we could be selling anything, right? But we do sell something that we love, and just like Mary Kay, those 4 parts to it just fits, that it fits in my life. It helps me be who I want to be. I can sell products I believe in, and I'm working with a company with a heart. That's all you got to know to team build, you guys. So there are women out there looking. And then, of course, it's your job as a recruiter to, the new little word is called onboard. Get them started, okay? Onboard your new team members. And, I was thinking about that today. When you sign someone new up, I know this is a little different, but I had this on my mind too, just to say, what are you supposed to do? Consultants, the first thing that you want to do when you sign someone up is you want to set up a 3-way phone call or a 3-way Zoom or FaceTime or Facebook message, or in person with your sales director, you and them, so that the 3 of y'all can meet ASAP, like the day she signs would be best, because you want your team member to also know and trust your sales director, so y'all can have a relationship with her. Okay. And then the second thing is you want to go through a few things, like you want to make sure that she understands the Great Start and what all you get free with your first order, and how the Great Start works for the first 3 months. And then she can make an inventory decision. Either she's going to stock some inventory, she stock a little bit, a lot, or a medium amount, or the full store. And don't prejudge, because what you did may not be what she does. Either way, you may have come in with a full store, and she may can only come in with a 600 or something, or you may have not come in with anything and she's ready to invest in her business. Let her make that decision. And that's where it helps to have maybe your sales director talk to her about inventory. But there's videos out there as well. But they're going to make that inventory decision. You're going to set up her launch party, and you could do that first. Even when is she going to have her very first party? Set that up so that you've got a place where she can sell. Maybe offer her that challenge of 24, 24, 24, so she can get right on it. Make sure she's set up her Mary Kay website and has her ProPay set up. And, if there's a lot of apps to do, but at least the My Customers app and the Great Start app, she'll want to put on her phone. And, and then inform her of when the meetings are and when the training is. And those things right there, you just get used to doing that over and over and over again. But what we can't do is sign people up and drop them, and they never hear from us again. Like, we got to work just as hard to make sure they're successful as we did to recruit them. Okay. And sign them up. So I want y'all to kind of just think about that as well. All right. So that's what we got for you guys tonight. I'm sure that we're going to have an amazing week. Next Sunday is Easter Sunday. We will go ahead and have the Boss Babe call because I believe most people will be, done with Easter egg hunting and done with church by the time. And if not, you can always watch it later. But we will have a short call next week as well. And so I want to remind you guys that next Sunday night, which is Easter, is the 17th, and that's the last day to enroll your customers in the preferred customer program to get the summer lookbook. And so I thought I was going to be going out of town, so I went ahead and did mine. You can do it, and then you can add people the last day. But you want to make sure you do that, even if you enroll one person. Surely you have a mother, a sister, a friend, or a cousin that can get a book from you for 70 cents a name, right? And so enroll some customers. You get to order your new products early on May 10th. And there's some really cool things coming out. So you guys, thank you. Have an amazing, amazing week. And we will see you guys next week on the Boss Babe call. Bye, everybody. And if you're in the Cheetah Nation area or adoptees, hang on here